Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to beautiful Chiang Mai. I'm coming to you from one of my favorite coffee spots, and that is the Magic Bean. You may or may not remember it. When I was here probably October 2023, I did the Passion Market, and at that time this was just a wet open parking space. But now they put cover to protect you from the elements when you park. And also looks like they're adding restrooms over there. But it's such a lovely area just to come out here and sit and enjoy coffee. Also, this did not exist last time either. So now there's a covered area where larger groups can come and enjoy coffee. So I'm going to take you inside and show you around a little bit. It's just a quaint little coffee shop, but the coffee is amazing here. Let me take you over and show you some of the coffee here. All right. So this coffee here is for purchase. You can take with you. It's just a nice little space. Now what makes this coffee, Magic Bean, very special is that they roast their own beans. And it makes a big difference in how fresh it is. They also offer different pastries, desserts, and their menu is outstanding. I've probably tried almost everything on this menu. The dumplings are very, very, very good, and you cannot beat the prices on here. So, for instance, your coffee can start at 40 baht, and depending on what else is happening, it just adds on to it. But it's still the most cost-effective and best coffee, if you ask me, in the area. All right, so I'm gonna take you back outside, and we're gonna talk about why we're here. So this is brought to you by, this video is brought to you by my mother. I'm getting ready to go back to the States, and she asked me was I coming home to stay, and I told her I wasn't, and I gave her some reasons, and I think I want to share those reasons with you. All right, I want to preface this video by saying that this is not a video where I'm bashing America as to why I'm not moving back there. It's more about what I ran to and not what I ran from. But I think the most important thing is I won the lottery. And what I mean by that is not a bunch of money that's gonna set me up for the rest of my life, but I won the time lottery. And I've spoken of that before. And retirement in America would not have looked the same to me as retirement here in Chiang Mai, Thailand. I think the slower pace helps you appreciate that time even more. I've become very intentional about my time, and it's really served me. I give you an example. Yesterday was date day for my wife and I, and we took a 45-minute ride up into Mae Rim, and we spent 2 hours there just at this most beautiful place. I'll try to put some pictures up there to show you where we were, but it was outstanding. And just in that moment, it helped me appreciate why time was so important to me. But also having your time frees up your mental space. America is a hustle culture, and even after you finish work, your mind is still hustling. For a lot of people, there's very few space to just relax and enjoy the whole thing. So I think time, number one, was the reason why I'm not moving back to America, because I cannot have that kind of time if I made that decision to move back. So I'm definitely glad that I fully understand how important time is to me, because for some, they never realize that. So the next one is my health. Chiang Mai has definitely had an impact on my physical health. Um, a lot of the aches and pains I had back in the States, which was caused by probably the stress hormone cortisol, because you're constantly under stress a lot, especially depending on what your job is. Um, but the food I'm able to eat because it's not. Hey Ben,
Yeah.
thank you.
Your script, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, just got my coffee here, so this is great. Cafe latte. So my health, now that's so wide a variation. Like I was saying, a lot of the aches and pains I had back in the States, I don't have anymore. And even now with my professional pickleball career, I still find myself, I get injured once in a while. My knees start to hurt. I get a strain growing muscle, but I have time to rest and relax and, let that heal properly. These are the dog treats here. So, okay. That right there is the coffee shop's dog. I always bring treats when I come here. But yeah, so health reasons. I'm definitely more healthy since I've been here, and I feel it. But I want to take health to another level. Now, not just the cost of living, as far as the cost of medical care. I've done a video on that where I cracked my rib, and I went in and saw a doctor. I had X-rays done. I was given pain medicine, and it was all for under $100. But when I think of my health at 57 years old, I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking, what am I going to do if I get to the age where I can't take care of myself? And that's another reason why I can't move back to the States. When I did the video on Vivo Beni, and which is a retirement resort here in Dorset, Chiang Mai, I got so many responses from people about what they pay for maybe their parents to have a place to stay in whatever state they were in. This was mostly response from the United States. One that stands out to me was a person who said that his mother stays in a retirement home in Chicago and pays $12,000 a month to stay there. $12,000. But at least he got a break, he said, because insurance covers half of it. But that's still $6,000 a month. So I'm thinking ahead. I want to be in a position, and I think staying here, I can be in a position that hopefully I could stay in my home forever. I can afford to hire a nurse or nurses to come in around the clock if that happens. And I'm preparing for that now, just in case it does happen. But I'm going one further. And this is not something people like to talk about. And I was going to do a video on it, and I still may do a video on it. But not just the cost of living here in Chiang Mai. What about the cost of dying? When I was doing my research, I think the average cost of a funeral in the United States is about $8,500. Okay? Cremation, about $6,000. Now, I'm not taking anything away. I'm not judging anybody for wanting to have that funeral. It's your prerogative. For some, it's because of whatever their Christian standards are. They don't believe in cremation. And I was looking at the cost of caskets in the United States. They're ranging anywhere from $7,000 to $15,000 just for the casket itself. But I know over here, when my time comes, I just want to have a traditional Thai cremation. And it's not just about the money, but being able to leave everything to my wife to help her life be as comfortable as it is without investing in a place to lay my body and all those arrangements that take place. I'm good with it. And so my health covers my physical health now, my mental health, which my stress is practically gone, but also what happens afterwards. So I think health is number two, and not in any particular order, on why I will stay in Thailand. Number three is the people. Now, you can watch 100 videos out there where they talk about Thailand as the land of 1,000 smiles. I think it's referred to. Maybe it's 10,000 smiles. But it's not just the Thai people. It's the diverse expat community I've met over here. Now, just off the top of my head, I've met people from the Netherlands, France, New Zealand, Australia, India. I know there's probably 8 or 9 more countries. Recently, I met a young lady from Iran who's over here as well. But this is such a diverse population, whereas I've learned so much. It's almost like taking a university class, and you learn about their cultures, you learn about maybe misconceptions that I had about certain cultures that I've been educated on. And it's just that, I'll give you an example. I play pickleball with Colette, just one of the ladies. She was on the pickleball video I did, and she's from Ireland, her and her husband. And it's just, I've learned so much just talking to her, just sitting down. My friend Ricky from Canada, we talked about, he was in government also when he was in Canada. And we're just able to share just different stories, and not just about, our former lives and our occupation, but just what we appreciated about being in this country compared to our other countries, and what it offers us. So I would definitely say people plays a major role. Every day I look forward to meeting with someone. My friend Raymond, he's from the United States, from Vermont, but for the last several weeks we met up, and just him sharing stories about his time in the Peace Corps, in Africa, in Haiti, and other places, their initiatives to help fight AIDS under George Bush. Just remarkable to see someone who was on the ground during that time doing good work. And I can go on and on with stories that he shared with me. So my friend Gilliam from the Netherlands, he's been here 6 years. This guy does his own paperwork for his for his retirement visa, and he just has some stories to share. He was in the mental health field as an occupation, and we just sat down a couple of days ago and just laughed and shared stories. And I looked down, and we had been there for 2 hours already. So it's wonderful to have the time to do that. It's wonderful to have the diverse group of people to share these stories with, and just to learn every day. So yeah, people. I did a video, I think it was titled, "Do I Feel Safe in Thailand?" And I'm 20 months in, my wife and I, of living here, and I still feel safe. But the other day I reflected that is 20 months where I haven't carried a gun, where I haven't had a gun for personal protection in my home. And to be honest with you, I wonder, how will I adjust to that moving to another country? And I think I mentioned this on the other video, where there are people say I would never live in a country where I couldn't have a weapon. And I was never that into it, but it did cross my mind, man, what am I going to do for safety in another country? But the more research I did on Thailand and how safe it is, and no place is 100% safe. But let me tell you, I have never felt safer in my life. When you are hyper vigilant for 26 years and all your life about your surroundings, and I'm still self-aware about what's going on around me, but it doesn't just take up so much of my energy that I can't fully appreciate the moment that I'm in. For instance, having to take your gun to a movie theater to feel safe, or to a restaurant to feel safe, or just going out to check your mail to feel safe. we normalize it back in the United States as a part of life, and that's okay. And there in the United States, it is a part of life, and that's fine. But I did a podcast some years ago where I talked about one of the subjects was how heavy is your duty belt, and it wasn't just how it weighs on us at work, but even off duty. That weight we carry day in and day out, it takes its toll on us. So I am happy to have served. I'm happy to have taken that duty belt off, both physically and psychologically. I feel very safe here in Thailand, and I can't imagine going back to a situation where I would not feel safe. I apologize for the background noise. They're doing some work here, as you saw. But number 5 is Thailand kind of forced me out of my comfort zone. And when you push outside of your comfort zone, I really think that it fosters growth. You know, whether you're navigating the language barrier, the cultural differences, or stepping into unfamiliar situations, by doing so, I really think it helps you grow as a person. Now, I've had to figure out things such as what happens when my motorbike breaks down, finding a dentist, those kind of things. But the resources are there for you. But embracing those differences, it really helps you develop as a person because you don't have those same patterns that you had back in your former country. You could walk through life blind in your former country because you know everything, you grew up in it. It's very familiar, but familiar is not always best for you. And that's what I've learned, is that being forced out of my comfort zone forces growth. All right, the final one, number 6, is moving here to Thailand, and probably one of the reasons why I won't return to America full time, is that Thailand has helped me reframe how I look at things. It gives me a different lens and to look at life through. So challenges that once seemed overwhelming I'm able to reframe and look at it differently. For instance, traffic. So traffic is still kind of hectic, okay? But instead of saying I hate driving in this Thailand traffic, I reframe it to this is a challenge, and I'm going to get through this challenge, you know? Even setbacks and disappointments, you know, these are things that are going to be okay in the end. I reframe obstacles as lessons, you know, and I'm going to learn from these lessons. I'm going to move forward. I've gone places, I've done things here in Thailand that I never thought I would do because of fear, for one. But when I reframe it to, you know what, if this doesn't work out, I just pick myself up and try again, you know. Living in the village that I lived in, you know, it has its challenges, but I look at them as just that, challenges. I don't look at it as problems. And there are people that said to me that the first year when I started doing YouTube that I was in the honeymoon stage, you know. And to a degree I was when you first get here. But since then, I've been through 2 smoky seasons, 2 of the hot seasons, 2 of the rainy seasons, you know. And those are just challenges, you know. And there are people, and I don't blame them, that it's for different reasons, be it respiratory issues. They just don't want to be in that environment. But they've left, they've moved because they don't want to spend 4 months here during the smoky season. And I understand that, you know. And they have a prerogative to do that. But staying here through 2 smoky seasons, I think, has changed my perspective on, you know, what's possible. It can be done. Could I afford to leave and go down to the beaches? Yeah. And I probably will and move around, but we wanted to get used to it. And it also has humbled me because I know I have the resources to do that. But the folks, the locals that live here, the elderly that live here, they don't have a choice. They have to stay here. So it just broadens your perspective on what you do have, you know, and how to reframe things so that it's not all about you. That all these things you're going through, they're just short term. Even if they're long term, it doesn't have to be a problem. It's a challenge, it's an obstacle, and it's a means to grow. So yeah, that about sums it up. But folks, listen, I'm going to reiterate that this is not a video about me hating America. You know, America allowed me to utilize geo arbitrage and take my resources that I earned over 26 years in one country and bring to another, and make the most of my life here. Now, I will continue to visit the United States, visit friends, visit family, and my mom is still alive, and I'm thankful every day for that. And I get to see her over the phone. I get to go visit her. But when I'm talking about my long-term physical and mental health and not having to go back to work, then this is the place for me. And listen, everything can change. Anything can change. You know, rules can change here in Thailand, but I'll be prepared to go somewhere else where I can establish the same kind of, not routine in the sense of a typical routine, but where the cost of living is low, it doesn't challenge my mental health, and I can continue to work on my physical health to be the best version of myself moving forward. With that, I'm going to stop talking. So tell me, for those of you who are living here right now, are you here for the long haul? How long have you been here? Please let me know down in the comments. And for those of you who are moving over here, do you think it could be long term, just based on the videos you've watched, the research you've done? I'd like to interact with you down in the comments. As always, thank you for joining me. Hope you like that short view of the short tour of the Magic Bean. If you're ever in the Dorset area, please stop by the Magic Bean. I will put a link in the description down below. I love you, and I will see you in the next video.